Information is power.
All right, everybody, let's talk about Cheyenne Bryant. This is a crazy situation as the media, social media, should I say, has been all over her. Black folks have called her out. They've said that she's lying. She's not being truthful about her educational background. She claims that she's a doctor in psychology. And every time you ask her these questions, now, when you look at her, she's on these podcasts. And that's kind of put her on the map, being on Basketball Wives, plus being invited on all these podcasts, where it appears to me that these folks that bring her on don't do their due diligence to make sure that her background is legitimate. Because I'm going to say this before I go deep into this situation with Cheyenne Bryant. I'm getting sick and tired of seeing black people get on social media, which I notice seems to be a big thing. And they use the social media platforms, I don't care what it is, to take advantage of black people, to tell you a crack of lies, to sell you on something that's a bunch of bull crap. Perfect example of this, Exhibit A, is Umar Johnson, who's been collecting money for damn near close to 20 years to open up a school that isn't open. We don't know what he's doing with the money. He's not transparent. He claims he has background in psychology. There's a lot of questionable things. I'm going to get to Umar Johnson later on in the show and do the comparison with him and Cheyenne Bryant because he's been caping for her. He's been speaking up for her on her behalf. But Umar Johnson is an untrustworthy individual who uses social media to manipulate black people. Cheyenne Bryant, because she gets on these podcasts, right? And she's basically branded her name, Dr. Bryant. And you see this Dr. Bryant necklace around her neck. I'm going to show you what she's done in her trademark on this video. She gets on the podcast. She's fairly attractive woman, which I think that gets her a foot in the door because she's a very attractive black woman. That makes it easier for people to digest her and what she has to say, even if you know that what she's saying is a crack of BS, okay? And she got on the Breakfast Club, which I don't like, by the way. I don't like the show. And she got up there and they started asking her questions. And the Breakfast Club is notoriously known for not vetting the people that they have on the show. They've had Polite on there. You know what he did? He's in jail, right? They've had Polite on there and he's in a jailhouse, right? They've had Umar on there several times and they don't jam the people that they have on their show up. They don't do due diligence. And so when people like Cheyenne Bryant is able to come on these podcasts, it gives her legitimacy. And so these podcasts are doing us as black people a disservice because it feeds into her being recognized and being elevated so that when she's speaking to black people about anything, she now has legitimacy. She now has authority to tell women about relationships when this woman herself is not even in a relationship. Make that make sense, everybody. It does not make sense because she's not in a relationship, but yet she's trying to give black women relationship advice. And this is why black women are turning on her now because black women are tired of the BS. Now, Umar Johnson, I'm going to play in this video today, is coming out and saying, well, the reason why there's all this hate towards her is because of the fact that she's an attractive black woman who has education and they're jealous of her and there's a mean jealousy. Now, we're going to get into that because Umar himself doesn't have any credibility, as I said before. But Cheyenne Bryant put her foot in her mouth when she goes on these programs and she spouses, just like Umar Johnson, all of her educational credentials. And then when you look it up, she gets an attitude when you confront her. These are nothing but red flags. By all means, red flags on this woman right here, because you see right here, here's an office, her office. And in the backdrop in this picture, you see her with everything hanging in the background. But yet, no degrees, no nothing of her certifications that she claims she got from Aragos University, which is a shady university. And I'm going to break that down to you. But she doesn't have any degrees. What am I saying here, everybody? If you got a degree from a university, a BA degree, a master's degree, a PhD, or some sort of certification, it wouldn't take you but a minute to be able to show that. If you got a dissertation, we should be able to find that under her name, just like she's trademarked her name, we should be able to find her dissertation from college when she got her PhD online. You can't find any of this stuff. Her only excuse is that because the university went out of business, that she doesn't have access to her records. That's not true, and I'm going to prove that right now. This is a lie. Another thing on this video today is that I'm going to show you some clips of real doctors. These are women that are really psychologists, family therapists, life coaches themselves, and they've got all the certifications, and they're already saying that they're looking at Cheyenne Bryant with a left eye because they're saying she doesn't seem credible, seems like she's trying to hide something. What's going on with her? They don't understand. Now, she likes the lamb life. She's on the Jennifer Hudson show. There's video out there of her twerking it up, okay? People are now talking about that there's footage of her out there in very compromising situations, allegedly, should I say. And like I said, again, both her and Umar Johnson do the same thing. When you ask them questions about their credentials or something important, they reflect, they call you a coon. They say you don't ask the white man for these types of things. They will say, I don't have to show you anything. Cheyenne Bryant has already said when she was on the Breakfast Club or on some of these podcasts that she didn't have to show nobody nothing. I'm telling you, folks, I've gone to college. I've been in that environment. If you have these credentials, you don't need to get upset like that. Usually people that are lying to you are the ones that will get upset and get an attitude. Cheyenne Bryant even hides behind religion when she was asked on a podcast about her credentials, saying, why don't you just go out there and show people what your credentials? And of course, she went into this whole quoting the Bible and verses from the Bible. These are nothing but reflection, trying to reflect from the reality that you've been busted. You've been on these podcasts running your mouth. And now the problem is this, because people are going to say, like Umar Johnson, who defended her, that all black people are just hating on her. Black women are just hating on her. The bottom line is nobody would have a problem with Cheyenne Bryant if Cheyenne Bryant was just honest about her credentials and her background and just be honest and just say, hey, look, I don't have a clinical psychology degree. I don't have a PhD, but I have this certification in family counseling, because you don't need a degree, a college degree necessarily for that. You can get a certification. But when she's upping the ante with her background, now it calls into question the lies that she tells. That's just unforgivable. Okay. Now, let me show y'all something real quick that I find very, very interesting. She has this going on. So here she has United States of America. She trademarked the name Dr. Bryant. And remember, this is very important too. Remember the school that she went to. I believe it's called Argos University. Degree generally carries a mixed to poor reputation. The university was a for-profit chain that collapsed, right? Unexpectedly, I think it collapsed in 2019 amid financial scandal, ultimately resulting in the official withdrawal of its institutional accreditations. That is a sad state of affairs. The standing of the degree from Argos depends heavily on who is evaluating it and the field in which you work in. So basically what this is, folks, I'm going to say this in a nutshell. This is one of those schools from back in the day. Remember back in the 90s where you could go to some of them tech schools. This is one of those, I would call it like one of these, what do you call it? Like it's like a degree mill. They don't care about giving you the right education. They care more about you giving them your money. So not to put shade on the sister, but she went to a university that does not have a great reputation, that is not very well known. So she didn't go to your UC Davis, your UC Berkeley, your UCLA. She didn't go to any major university to get this kind of education. Not to put down her efforts, But I'm saying here you have a woman who's not being very transparent and honest about her educational background. And then we find out that she went to a school that not only closed down, but if you go and look at the research on this university, they had a bad reputation. Any degree from there was not well recognized. That's something to think about, because she's, and really it's about what you do with your education, not necessarily where you go. But in this case, this was very important. Now, I want to go into this further because I want to show you also this, everybody. Back to the patent that she got. I think what happened is that when that university closed down in 2019, when that university closed down, when she was in the process of getting this education, I think she realized, and this is my opinion, I think Cheyenne Bryant probably felt like, hey, nobody really knows. I can just run with this ideology that I'm a psychologist. I'm a certified in this, certified in that, in each and every way. And I think now it's caught up with her because people are doing the research and they're finding out, wait a minute, something doesn't add up here. And I'm going to say this again. This is very important that I say this. There's nothing wrong with getting certifications and being a counselor, family counselor, relationship counselor. You can get certifications in that, but you can't practice and call yourself a doctor of clinical therapy, or you're doing therapeutic processes with people, because you must be what? Licensed. You must have proper accreditations because it's about ethics. And I don't think that Cheyenne Bryant, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, y'all, I don't think that she is, I don't think that she's credible because of how irritable she becomes when you get her on these shows to talk about her background. Now, let me put this up here, right here. This is what the patent said that I had up earlier. It says here, Dr. Bryant, and this is what she breaks down that her services are going to provide. California, right? Los Angeles, California, 9, class 41, conducting worships, right? And seminars and self-development, workshops and seminars and self-development, education and entertainment services. Entertainment services, namely providing inspirational, sparking services, right? Inspirational services, should I say, speaking services in the field of self-development, life coach services in the field of self-development, providing group coaching in the field of self-development. Do you see what's going on here? There's nothing on that patent that she has on her doctor name. She patented the name Dr. Bryant. That to me is that's a red flag, because she wanted to legitimize herself, in my opinion, when the school shut down and she figured nobody really knew about that school, really knew about her, so that she could play the funk. We got black people who get on social media and lie to us. They're not ethical, lying to us, because the goal is ultimately to become popular, get a large following, but to mainly grift and make money off of black people based on your fraudulent background or credentials. Right here on this patent, there is nothing being said about her being clinically licensed, about her being able to do therapy, anything. Everything on here is just generic stuff. This is what I want to show you right here again. This is what this document is saying. That's what I just had enlarged. Let me go over here and show you this right here. I want to just remind everybody, because this is very important. In California, it is illegal, because she got her degree in California. That's where this university was located, in California. And this university did not have a great reputation. I must emphasize that again. In California, it is illegal to use the title therapist, psychotherapist, or other licensed designations, LMFTs, a licensed clinical social worker, which I work around licensed clinical social workers myself. If you are not licensed by the Board of Behavior Science, BBS, or the Board of Psychology, so if she's a psychologist, she should have been licensed. If you're not licensed, your unlicensed individuals cannot do diagnosis or treatment treat mental illness and must not imply they are licensed, which can lead to legal penalties. Y'all understand what I'm saying here? Y'all understand, everybody? I want everybody to understand everything that I just said, because that's where the lie is with this woman. And I'm going to tell it, y'all. So if you don't fit those criteria, you cannot go around calling yourself a clinical psychologist. This is the same thing that Umar Johnson does when he goes around calling himself a school psychologist, a clinical therapist. Umar Johnson himself, if you do the research, is not licensed. What am I saying this for? Because I'm sick and tired of seeing black people like Umar Johnson, even Cheyenne Bryant, and many more. You had the whole Tulsa, Oklahoma real estate scandal. Y'all know about that one. You had Polite, who's in jail where he belongs, lying to black people, saying that he was building cargo houses, and come to find out that that was being operated by another brother who was a builder and entrepreneur. These people use lies and use social media because it's so powerful to get around showing you what their real credentials are. Why can't they just come out and be honest and say, look, I don't have a degree in this, but I have a certification in this. This is what I am. Guess what? We'll still respect them the same. But now the reason why she's in this mess that she's in right now is because she's been lying, and lying too much about her credentials. And I'm sorry, she has no one to blame but herself for this situation at the end of the damn day. Now let's go back and show you a video. I want to show you a video, and we're going to come right back to what I just read to you about what the laws are in California, where she got these so-called degrees. Let's look at the first video. I believe this is a video when she was on the Joe Budden's podcast. And then there was a psychologist, a sister who is a licensed, clinician, who questions Cheyenne Bryant. Let me put this up here right now.
Why not provide the proof of your degree? Why not drop doctor from your name if you cannot bring forth that doctoral degree?
So I'm not an influencer, right? I'm a doctor of psychology.
So I've been in private practice as a doctor of psychology for 17 years.
Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
Baby, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
And that's where, and you're standing by that.
Standing by.
So you see right there, now that's not the video that I wanted to show, but look, it goes hand in hand with what I am going to show you. Right there, she's clearly telling you on these podcasts, I'm a doctor of this, I'm a doctor of that. And then the sister that was on there who clearly told her, why not just come out and tell people or show people what your credentials are? And she said she refuses to do so, which to me is the biggest red flag, because if you got the degrees, you could do a lot more. You could really have the last laugh when you come out and show everybody how legitimate you are. Now everybody will look silly. But when they just kind of push back and say, I'm not going to do this and that, it shows you that there's a certain level of lies, that they're trying to hide the truth of their background or their lack of there. And this is, to me, black people, to me, shouldn't do this to black people. I'm going to put this video up right here. Check this out. I think this is the one with the psychologist who has something to say about her. Check this out.
Like a therapist. I started off as a marriage, family, and child therapist about 18 years ago.
And here's another thing. She keeps calling herself a therapist, and in most states, that's actually illegal without a license. You cannot legally use the title therapist or provide psychotherapy without licensure.
Now, she's absolutely telling the truth.
Tell the truth.
Right here, as I said before, that's the other one that I'm going to put up a little bit later. But here, right here, as I read to you again, you cannot say you're a therapist if you're not licensed with the BBS, which is the Board of Psychology. You have to have some sort of license. Without that, you're lying, and that becomes a legal issue. That's why I wanted to play that part right there for you, everybody, because that's where Cheyenne Bryant loses credibility. And the sister that you just saw speaking there on that video actually is a clinical psychologist themselves, has the license, has the background. I've seen her on Instagram, on social media, TikTok, and what have you. She's legitimate. And she was being called out by someone who was very, very legitimate. Once again, this is a shame when black people are lying to black people and playing games with black people. Let me show you. I want to play another video right here. Let's go.
A relationship expert don't always have to have the PhD, but the problem with this is what?
The problem with this is her credibility, the conferment of her degree. She's unable to prove them. And also she just really contradicts herself often. Now, is it plausible that some of the stuff that she is saying is true? It is plausible that it is difficult for you to get your records when a school closes because it has closed. But it's often easy to just go ahead and Google to see if this is actually true, and it's not. She said that they sold the records to a third party. The third party is Parchment.com, and Parchment.com, you could get the records back from over a...
Now, I wanted to bring that up because Cheyenne Bryant keeps claiming that she can't get her records. And I'm going to stop it right there for this reason. Let me show you the proof of that. She's lying, everybody. Let me show you the proof of this right now. Right here. So I did some research, and doing that research, it came out that yes, you can absolutely still get your official transcripts. Okay, even though Augusta University closed in 2019, your student records are securely maintained and remain accessible for order. You can request your Agos University transcripts by visiting the official portal. They have portals for you. Parchment, that's what the sister was saying a few minutes ago. Parchment portal. Now, how do you go about doing that? It says right here, for a step-by-step guide and additional information on obtaining your academic records or applying for federal loan discharges, you can refer to the official federal student aid PDF form here. So there is a way. She's been saying, this woman has been lying, y'all, and making it seem like she can't get her proof of her dissertation, of her degree, of her background. I'm here to tell you it's all cap, everybody. It's all lies. It's all cap. Don't believe the hype that she's been putting out there on social media because it's all fictional and lies. Let me go back to this video. On this video, which was on the Isaiah Factor, and shout out to Isaiah Factor, these are 3 black women who are doing everything that Cheyenne Bryant claims that she has certifications in or a license or what have you. These women are legitimate, and they're saying something doesn't smell right. You just heard what she said. She can get it from Parchment, her records. So that's a lie. I want to emphasize that. Let's go back.
Decade. And they even list the university that she's claiming that she can't get her records from on there as records you can get. When you do a dissertation, your dissertation is published and it becomes in part of a national portfolio that you can easily look that up. This is not a thing that you have to go find someone to get your dissertation. So the thing is.
Now I want to stop it right there.
A relationship expert.
I want to stop it right there, and I'm going to come back over here. This is my question. The doctor, one of the ladies on the panel is a doctor, does family therapy, does clinical therapy, has licenses, the whole 9 yards. She said very clearly she should be able to show her dissertation. You should be able to find it online. Everybody is saying they can't find anything on her. And we know that Corey Holcomb said he did research. I'm going to play a clip from Corey Holcomb that he can't find anything on her. So something's not right here. You say you went to a school that shut down, right? Then you say you can't get your records because they closed down, but then yet we find out that there's a thing called Parchment where you can get your records. So the question again is, which is it? Now, let's come back over here on the Isaiah factor, and let you see another video. Here we go.
Mental health and the advice. Talk about that, doctors.
I think, again, to distinguish the difference between calling yourself a coach versus saying I used to have a license. Those are different implications. And so one of the conversations that we've been having is we are bound by code of ethics. We are bound by different standards, and even some of the things she's been part of our conversations for some time in terms of.
Now, the key thing here that she said is code of ethics. Is Cheyenne Bryant exhibiting code of ethics? Because the reason why she's in this mess is because she has not been truthful about a few things that she's claimed to the public that she has. The public is simply saying, hey, can you show us? Because we can't find it. Now she becomes upset. She becomes defensive and then wants to hide behind religion and that, it's all about, God and nobody can come before me and my Lord and Savior. And then the same thing that Umar Johnson does. Hey, you ain't asking the white man for this and the white man for their credentials. No, because black people like her are the ones that are on social media trying to grift black people out of money. That's why the question becomes, hey, are you really who you are? Because you're presenting yourself in a way that doesn't seem like you're really living that life, such as relationship, not in a relationship herself, allegedly. Let's continue with this.
Some of the advice that she has provided or some of the things that she had shared definitely crosses and blurs that line from an ethical space that can do a lot of harm, because what we also have to recognize is the people who she's talking to are people who typically do not seek out help. And so if they're receiving information that is muddled, that is not rooted in truth, that's not factual, it's going to do more harm than good and prevent more people seeking help.
And I will say this, allegedly, right? Because we don't know, they're doing an investigation. But if this is true, it feels intentionally deceptive, intentionally misleading, because, and I'm sure you all can attest,
now this sister right here made a big point. This is Dr. Jasmine Boone. She's a therapist. All these sisters are accomplished. She made a powerful point here, which was, you could tell she was saying, I'm alleging, but she's alluding that Cheyenne Bryant is being unethical and she's literally lying to the public. And if you're portraying yourself as something that you're not, as a licensed clinical therapist, that you have the proper training, and you're now you're misleading people, it's unethical, and it speaks to your character, and she's violating so many different things. And I think this sister right here is alluding to this in a very professional manner, but I think she knows something, folks, that Cheyenne Bryant isn't because they just said that they've been talking about her, and these ladies know what the real deal is. Let's go.
day after day, people will assume I'm a psychiatrist because I'm Dr. Boone. I immediately bring correction and education. I don't expect my clientele, I don't expect viewers to necessarily know the distinction. So it's my responsibility to know that they're clear on what that is. And if you're not doing that, that is deception. That is purposely misleading people.
Boom. I want to put it right there where the ghosts can get it. That is deceiving people 100%. She's kind of saying it in a roundabout way, you know, that she believes that Cheyenne Bryant is deceptive, is misleading the public as to who she is, as to her credentials, and what have you. And we know that this woman likes the land life. She loves being on these podcasts. She loves the attention that she's getting. There's video out there of her twerking it up. There's all kind of stuff out there on this woman. She was on a show called The Basketball Wives, where nobody was married to a basketball player, which makes no sense.
Tell the truth.
But it is what it is in this situation. And I want to go back to this.
And so the other piece I wanted to bring up, if you don't have the transcript, okay, plausible, right? Do you have a picture of your graduation day? Do you have something? No.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know damn well that that black people take more pictures in a little bit. She's absolutely right. If Cheyenne Bryant was actually, if she was actually had all this education, these degrees, why can't you just show people a simple picture? Why can't you just show people your credentials? That's the question that needs to be asked, is why can't credentials be just shown?
Nobody walks across the stage and doesn't take a picture of those 3 stripes
Facts.
on your cape. You know what I mean? And so it's
Tell the
just
truth.
The deception leads into.
I want to play that just one more time. Just one more time, y'all.
They're clear on what that is. And if you're not doing that, that is deception. That is purposely misleading people. And so the other piece I wanted to bring up, if you don't have the transcript, okay, plausible, right? Do you have a picture of your graduation day? Do you have something? Nobody walks across the stage and doesn't take a picture of those 3 stripes on your cape. You know what I mean? And so
Why not provide the proof of your degree? Why not drop doctor from your name if you cannot bring forth the doctoral degree?
So I'm not an influencer, right?
So she's saying she's not an influencer, but yet she's using social media to influence everybody. And right there, I played that again because of the simple fact that the woman asked her a very legitimate question. Why not just show this information and you can put everything to rest? You can shut everybody up, but she won't do that. That's because she's a highly narcissistic woman. I'm going to play you another woman who's a doctor, just like those sisters on there who does life coaching as well. And she talked about the DSM-5 and the 9 pillars of what makes a person a narcissist. And there are people who are real professionals that have been observing as those doctors have called her out. Here's another doctor that's calling her out, and others that are calling her out and saying that there's something misleading about her that they find to be very narcissistic. So what I want to do is, I hope this is the video right here that I'm going to hit right here for you. I hope that this is the one. Check it out.
If you like to see a list of the 9 diagnostic criteria
there we go.
on NPD, you can simply Google it, or you can ask ChatGPT and it can spit it out for you. So since everything that has been going on with Cheyenne Bryant in the media, such as there's no proof of a master's degree, there's no proof of her ever being a licensed LMFT, and there's no proof shown that she holds a doctorate in psychology and counseling, I have been following about 3 or 4 people.
Now that is very powerful, everybody. You heard what she said right there. This is another woman who actually is a professional and did research as well and can't find any of these things that everyone's been talking about. And here we go.
On YouTube, and I've been watching their videos. Shout out to Jessie Wu, who has been following all of this. She is such an excellent researcher, and I love the way that she provides her commentary. Jessie Wu has called her a narcissist, and she's the first person that, you know, kind of brought that to my attention. Now, over the weekend, I watched Tony Gaskins. What an excellent coach. He has a video up that says, does Cheyenne Bryant have a diagnosis? And towards the end of the video, he calls out narcissism.
So you've got people in the profession that she's claiming to be a part of, people who are even just people that are just licensed life coaches as well, because she claimed that she's a life coach as well, that are saying that they're noticing that they feel like this woman, Cheyenne Bryant, has some sort of narcissism to her that they find disturbing. Who knows what the hell is going on here, but it does seem quite disturbing, I would have to say.
I would like to educate you guys on some of the DSM criteria on what narcissism looks like. Okay, a grandiose sense of self-importance, a need for admiration and praise, sense of entitlement, arrogant, haughty behaviors, interpersonally exploitative behaviors. And just a few others that I might mention is a preoccupation with success and status, difficulty handling criticism, reactive defensiveness, and image management. Those are just a few.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the sister broke it down very concise there, very well. This could be the reason why, in my estimate, that this woman has all this stuff in the back of her wall, but no degrees, because this woman, as she said, there's narcissism there. I think she was very narcissistic to brand her name Dr. Bryant when she really didn't have, it looks like she doesn't really have the credentials that she's claiming to have, because it's not just people on social media that are saying, wait a minute, there's something not right about this lady. But now you've got other professionals in the field that she's claiming to be a part of that are saying, hey, we're doing research and we can't find anything. So something seems a little off here. I'm just saying, allegedly, this is what people are saying, folks. Now, taking it full circle with this here, I want to go ahead and do this right here. So I want to show you this. So as I said, again, she lied about saying that she can't get her transcripts and what have you. Let me show you this right here.
But everything else, there's just no holding take for any of our records, which I think is completely effed up.
She lied. Ladies and gentlemen, she lied.
Tell the truth.
She's basically telling those folks on the Breakfast Club that there is no system in place for them to be able to get their records. And I just read this earlier in this video that she can still get it through the Parchment portal. You can request your Argos University transcripts by visiting the official Parchment portal. Even though Argos University closed in 2019, your student records are securely maintained and remain accessible order. It's all in order here. You can see right there. So she's not being a truth teller. Now, Umar Johnson, the man who is arrogant himself, I'm going to get to Umar Johnson in just a minute, y'all. In just a minute. Let me come back over here to Cheyenne Bryant and let you hear what this man had to say right here.
But everything else, there's just
Doctor, alleged doctor, whatever you want to call it. We're going to prove some points about this lady today. And it ain't even got to be bitter. It's just the flat out facts. The research on where she's claiming she got whatever from has been done. It's all fake.
She's basically, Corey Holcomb, as you know, has said it's all fake. He did research. Remember, he was on, what's that, Funky Fridays with one of the ex-football players. The brother's name skips my mind right now. Cam Newton. Yeah, the Cam Newton Funky Fridays. And he was on there sometime back, and he said that he did research and you can't find anything. Now, of course, Cheyenne Bryant has come out and has had some choice words to say about Corey Holcomb, saying that, oh, he looks dirty, he looks smelly when he was on the show with Cam Newton. He looks like he's unclean, like he doesn't take care of himself and what have you. And hey, I don't know about the man's personal hygiene, but what we do know is that this woman is not being very truthful, or it appears that she's not being very truthful about her background. Let me let you hear this.
Doctor, alleged doctor, whatever you want to call it. We're going to prove some points about this lady today. And it ain't even got to be bitter. It's just the flat out facts. The research on where she's claiming she got whatever from has been done. It's
so I wanted to reinforce what Corey Holcomb had to say there. Now, what I want to do is let's go into this Umar Johnson character. Now, Umar Johnson is another one of these characters on the YouTube street, social media streets, that lies, doesn't tell the truth, says he's going to open up a school, been collecting money for years now. When you question him about the school, he does the same thing. He reflects and he calls you a sellout or a coon. When you ask him about his education, he gets very uptight. And he also lies because this man is not licensed. Does he have a PsyD? Yes. Does he have some education? Yes, he does. But he does not have a clinical license to practice psychiatry or psychology. You have to be, whenever you're working with kids, as he claims he's the greatest to work with kids, you have to be licensed clinically to be able to diagnose, because Umar Johnson gets on social media always putting out diagnosis and what have you. I just wanted to make that very clear. This man is not qualified. So what he did is that he was caping for Cheyenne Bryant, trying to cape for her. And I'm going to tell you the reason why he capes for her is because this man, Umar Johnson, depends on black women to support him because black women are his biggest supporters. We just got to keep that real. Black women have been Umar Johnson's biggest supporters since day one, and he depends on them. So of course he's going to have something positive to say or cape in behalf of her. Umar Johnson is a hypocrite because this is a man who will criticize black men, right? But then when a black man like P. Diddy or someone gets themselves in trouble putting hands on women, then he defends them. He defends an R. Kelly. He defends a P. Diddy, right? But at the same time has so much to say about black men, but then has so much to say about black women. Check out this podcast of him on the art of dialogue. I'm going to put this up here. And to show you how much Umar is caping, this was a post that he put out on his own Instagram where he says, "Leave her alone. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant says Argos University shut down and wiped all." That's a lie, Umar. You are a dumb individual, Umar Johnson, because I've got to state, I did some research and I put this together for all of you to see right here based on research. She can get her information. That's capped. I'm calling lies on that. I'm calling it a lie. But Umar, he'll cape because he thinks he's going to get into her, he's always looking to get in some woman's pants. He calls it cookies, right? So he goes on to say, leave her alone. You, me, and Dr. Phil still living our best life. I know I definitely am. Order my new book, Leave Your Promise, link in my bio. So, of course, this is all about her promoting and pushing her books, right? Because she's, she got a patent on her name, Dr. Bryant. But Umar Johnson is caping for this woman here. And let you see the video.
I went to an American Psychological Association accredited doctoral training program. I am a doctor of psychology and clinical psychology. I will repeat. I am a doctor of psychology and clinical psychology.
He's lying. He is not a doctor of clinical psychology. He doesn't have a doctorate degree in psychology. He has a PsyD. To have a clinical degree and be a clinical psychologist, you must pass a license, just in the way that I put this up for California and the way it goes. When he was in Philadelphia, Umar Johnson should have been licensed. He's not. The reason why he can't work in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, if I'm going to tell it, I'm going to tell the truth, and we're going to tell it like it needs to be told. The reason why Umar, I'm going to tell it. The reason why Umar is not working in Philadelphia is that he got booted out of Philadelphia when he was working at a private institution because he was allegedly misdiagnosing children and putting the school at risk because he was not a licensed psychologist in clinical psychology. I work around psychologists and licensed psychologists and licensed psychiatrists and social workers who have an LSCSW because they are a licensed social worker. You must have these credentials working in a clinical environment. Umar has none. So therefore, he's been lying about being a school psychologist, being a therapist. He's not, because he's not licensed. And that's one of the reasons why he originally got booted out of his job when he was in Philadelphia some time back. I just want to clear that up because he tells so many lies.
I'm also a certified school psychologist.
No, you're not.
I also have 3.
You can't be a certified school psychologist, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not licensed. Umar Johnson is not licensed. He's no better than Miss Bryant, who we are all now questioning her background and credentials. Umar is no better.
Master's degrees in the field of psychology, clinical, school, and general.
He may have taken courses on clinical and school in general, but if you did not get a license, he did not get a license, y'all. You can't practice on nobody, kids, adults, nobody. That's why he lost his job way back in Philadelphia at a school.
Now, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant has exploded into social media space. Her career has really taken off since I first learned of her around the time of my last Nick Cannon interview approximately 2 years ago. I have followed her here and there. She is a stunningly beautiful woman.
Of course, he's going to say that because that's all Umar Johnson thinks about is the cookies, y'all.
She also claims to have her doctorate in psychology. She claims that she went to Argosy University.
So you see, Umar Johnson even says that she claims, but he will never define himself as a person that claims. He'll say, I have it. But you're going to see how he continues to cape for her.
And I'm not doubting nothing she says because I have no reason to. The school closed down. She has some issues with the transcript, the degree, whatever the case.
That's a lie because I just showed you all the proof that she can get her transcript. She lied. You also heard the psychologists that were on the Isaiah Factor who said the same thing I said. The parchment portal is where she can get it from.
Maybe. She has a book out now. It's a best-selling book, Art, and it's doing...
Shut up, Umar Johnson. I'm now finding out, ladies and gentlemen, that because of this controversy, it's actually been hurting her book. And people are now questioning the book as well. Let's go. Umar Johnson acts as if he's so informed, but he really is not informed.
Very well. She's being interviewed. She's been on Shannon Sharp. She's been on Nick Cannon. She's been on Cam Newton. She's been on Joe Button, right? She's a big name amongst...
Right. That's what I was saying earlier, folks. These people platform individuals like Cheyenne Bryant, and that gives people like Cheyenne Bryant as well as Umar Johnson, who goes on these spam podcasts, and these people do not vet these people to find out whether they're legitimate, and then by default, they become legitimate to people because they were on the Breakfast Club, because they were on the Joe Budden's podcast and this podcast and that podcast. And you begin, then some people begin to believe that that makes them legitimate when they're not. And these podcasts are doing us a disservice to our community, y'all. Let's continue with Umar's lies.
She goes on the Breakfast Club and they ask her about her degrees and she explains about what happened with the school. I don't know the details. I don't care. People start to roast her and attack her, claiming she's fraud. She then goes on Joe Budden. Shout out to them. I didn't see the interview, Art, but allegedly they say Joe Budden and them asked her some really good questions that left more unanswered than answered. For the past 2 weeks, Art, she has been the butt of everybody's internet joke. Here's what I'm going to say.
No, shut up, Umar. This isn't about it being an internet joke. It's about transparency. It's about being truthful. And that's all black people are asking for. If she had been honest in the first place, nobody would be dragging her, because if she would have been transparent, as you don't show transparency with that abandoned buildings you have, none of this would have happened to her because she would have been out front and just told people, hey, this is what I have credentials in. This is what I don't have credentials in. People are mad at the things that she's claiming that she's had that they can't find. And black women have every right to be mad because they were listening to this woman. But of course, Umar, he gonna say, well, you know, black women hate black women because he's trying to be in good favor with Cheyenne Bryant, which I already showed you that he was corresponding with her on his what? On his, should I put this up here? On his Instagram page. I think she responded to Umar. And of course, Umar likes to get into those cookies, if you know what I mean. Back to it.
And other doctors of psychology don't agree. Cheyenne Bryant having or not having a doctorate does nothing to my doctorate, Art.
Now, right here, Umar Johnson is making it about himself. He's making it about himself that what's going on with her doesn't affect his degree. It isn't about you, Umar. You make everything about you because you, just like the sister said earlier, are a narcissistic personality as well. And we're hearing from a man. This is a man, everybody. I want to be very clear here. This is a man that does not take care of his own children that he's got out there, that by baby mamas that he's got out there. This is a man whose own daughter called him out as a deadbeat, sitting up here trying to give his breakdown of Cheyenne Bryant.
It does nothing to my career. It does nothing to my profession.
Why did Umar Johnson make this about his career, his profession? What are you talking about, man? This is the narcissism of Umar. Umar Johnson jumps himself into this mix because he has to make everything about himself at the end of the day.
I don't have a need to investigate her. I don't have a need to slander her, to belittle her, to malign her, to assault her. I don't have no need to do anything against that black woman because she hasn't hurt anybody. She is a life coach, Art, and you don't have to be certified or have a doctorate or a license to be a life coach.
Shut up, Umar. This is not the reason why she's in all this hot water with the black community. People are not jumping on this woman you see on the screen, Cheyenne Bryant. People are not coming at her in a nasty way because she is just a counselor that you don't have to have a degree or whatever for that. People are coming at her because she's appears to have lied allegedly about having those credentials that requires more education, requires a dissertation, requires a PhD to be gotten, that requires clinical licensing. That's what they're angry about because she has portrayed herself as having those credentials and guiding black women or guiding people with those credentials that she's claimed to have on all these podcasts that she's been on. That's why, Umar, not because, as you said, you don't have to have a degree to do family counseling. Everybody already knows that. You get a certification for that. That's not why people were coming at her. See, Umar Johnson is the most ridiculous, poor example of a man.
She ain't misdiagnosed nobody. She ain't done no clinical work without a license. I haven't seen any wrongdoing from Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. So what do I think is going on here, Art? I believe that black women, I'm going to call the kettle black.
Here we go.
Some men too, but mostly black women are attacking her out of jealousy. They are jealous of her looks. They are jealous of her life coaching career. They are jealous of her podcast.
Now, I've just heard enough of that. Now, Umar goes to the low-hanging fruit there. Yes, could there be black women out there who just don't like Cheyenne Bryant because they think that she thinks that she's all of that in a bag of cookies? Yes, there might be black women out there who are hating on her, who don't like her, either because they don't like the way she flaunts herself around. You know, there could be that. But in this case, black women were actually, this is where Umar Johnson, in my opinion, is wrong, okay? Because her following, just like Umar Johnson, her following is mainly female. So if black women were hating on her, why does she had, or how did she able to gather a large female following? I'll tell you why. Because she portrayed herself in areas that she wasn't qualified. That's why these black women are turning on her, because she lied about credentials that she tried to fake the funk that she had or that she was. That's why, Umar. Now, could there be other things, like you said, other variables that they don't like her because she's light-skinned? Because, yeah, we know we have colorism, unfortunately, in the black community still lingering. And unfortunately, you're going to always have people that's jealous of you, what you accomplish, what you have that they don't have. These things happen. But no, man, I think that the bottom line is she got caught in her misspeaking, her lies or what have you, and people didn't appreciate that. And I think that's why black women turned on them, and they had every right to call her out. But Umar, I don't expect Umar to say anything that makes sense, because Umar is not an accountable man himself. He does not take care of his own kids. He has been lying about that school, about a school he's going to build, taking money from black folks. So, you know what they say, birds of the same feather flock together, right?
Somebody's going to have to tell the truth, and I'm going to tell it.
With that said, everybody, I appreciate you watching the program. I want to thank you for being here. Hit the bell notification, subscribe to the channel, let people know about the channel if you enjoy the content and what have you. We're going to keep this thing going. This is the Information Man. We're going to get ready to get out of here. I appreciate you all. You tell somebody that you love them. And what can I say? I really appreciate you all, everybody. Peace. Peace.
I'ma give it to you.
Take care, everybody.
Feel it, baby. Stress is all around us. These high ceilings, and I need it, baby. Pressure and make diamonds. I won't steal it, baby. Silent, baby. Hurts to see you crying. Know you trying. Ain't no lying, baby. When I say I need you, greedy if I have to share you. It was me that all along did you wrong, thinking that I made you beautiful and strong. This toxicity, the death of me. I fear the day you've gone. The most beautiful girl I've ever known.
BS3 Network is now on Roku TV under BS3 TV. Download today. You are now tuned to BS3 Network. BS3 Network, changing the way you listen to podcasts. BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.